So, I want to tell you about one of the shortest and honestly one of the weirdest stories you'll probably ever find online. It kicks off like a simple little fable, but trust me, it ends with a surprisingly sharp truth about the world we live in right now.
The whole thing starts in Hindi with a line that sounds like it was pulled straight out of a classic kid's book. It translates to, "A farmer has a big hen." Sounds pretty standard, right? Well, this is where things start to get interesting.
All right, so let's set the scene. First act, it's all about our two main characters.
First up, we have our farmer. Pretty straightforward, you know the type.
But his companion, yeah, she's anything but ordinary. We are talking about a giant hen. And I don't just mean a little big, I mean enormous, almost mythical in size.
And their daily routine? Just as bizarre. Every single day, this huge hen carries the farmer on her shoulders, and they travel to the field together. It paints this really surreal, magical picture, like they're on some grand quest.
Okay, so this brings us to the absolute climax of the story, the big event, the miraculous egg. So there they are, out in the middle of the field, and this giant hen does something incredible. She lays an absolutely enormous egg, perfectly proportional to her own crazy size. And then, from inside this massive egg, a tiny, brand new life emerges. A little chick hatches. It's this moment of pure wonder, right? The beautiful culmination of their journey. You'd expect confetti and celebration. Well, that's not what happens. This is where the story just takes a complete nosedive. All that joy and magic suddenly vanishes, and it's replaced by this deep, really confusing sadness. Despite this incredible, miraculous birth of her own child, the giant hen, she just starts to cry. And we're not talking happy tears. We're talking about profound, heartbreaking sorrow. And that contrast is just perfect. The expectation is this huge celebration of new life, but the reality? It's just this baffling, overwhelming grief. And that's the real mystery here. So the big question is, why? Why on earth would this hen be so devastated at what should be the happiest moment? Well, the answer is the entire point of this whole story. See, to understand why she's crying, we have to step outside of the story's world. The whole narrative suddenly just shatters that fourth wall, and it gives us a reason that comes directly from our world, not hers. The story ends by telling us why she's so sad. And the reason is, "Kyonki kisi ne like subscribe nahi kiya," which translates to, because nobody liked and subscribed. And boom, just like that, this surreal little fable completely transforms. It becomes this sharp, witty parable for anyone who makes things for the internet today. This is the real meaning behind the meme. Think about it. The hen isn't sad about her chick. Not really. She's devastated by her engagement metrics. Her entire beautiful, miraculous experience is being judged by data, by the likes, the comments, the shares, the subscriptions. You know, the story is just so clever because it works on all these different levels. You've got that classic fable structure, this completely absurd, funny idea. But underneath it all, it's a commentary on content creation, where the punchline is that very real, very modern pressure for digital validation. And this is the absolute core of it. For the hen, the real, intrinsic value of what she's done, creating new life, the chick, it gets totally lost. It is completely overshadowed by her need for other people to react to it, to validate it. So this short, strange little tale leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on. In an age where everything we create can be broadcast and judged in an instant, when our art feels like it needs an audience to even be real, who are we actually creating for? Are we doing it for ourselves or for the algorithm?